Okay, going on YouTube now as well. Vimmi Communication, it's live. On Vimmi Communication, yeah.
Yep, you're here. Rồi anh ta slide ra không? Này.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We'll wait just 1-2 minutes for everyone to join, and we will start immediately. Okay, everybody, we're ready to go. Welcome to our webinar. The subject for today is the video analytics. This is a very, very important topic in today's OTT initiatives. We're going to cover some of the technologies and the market trends, specifically targeted the analytics part. This is an opportunity for you as well to participate. We have a Q&A box that you can use. I will also share a few polls during the webinar, and I'll be happy to have your feedback. So we're ready to go. So just to give you a quick recap of what's happening in OTT these days is that the number of OTT video streaming services is increasing exponentially. Latest news of Disney taking their catalog out from Netflix and launching Disney Plus very, very shortly is another important addition to the global OTT players that are available. Obviously, Netflix are leading This group, with more than 140 million subscribers, Prime Video was announced to have more than 100 million subscribers worldwide. Disney is launching. Also, there are many regionals and local players like iFlix in Asia or Hook. Obviously, the social networks themselves are also trying to go into this game, with YouTube launching some premium subscription, and by the way, canceling them very soon. Facebook Watch. So this has become a very crowded marketplace, which is from one side very good for consumers, but on the other hand, it's getting worse for consumers, because content will be structured and will only be able to serve from the relevant OTT platform, right? If we had once one aggregator that could support us with a variety of content packages, today as a consumer, we have to select between various OTT players in order to love and to get our content. And this is something that is probably not the best scenario. If we had one OTT subscription, maybe in the future we will need 5 or 10 subscriptions to have a full range of content that we like. If we look at the content expenditure by a variety of content producers worldwide, non-sport related, we see that the traditional content providers are still leading the pack, right? With NBC Universal, Fox, Time Warner, and Disney are having the majority of the shares of investment in content. NBC Universal with more than $10 billion of investment in content last year, followed by Fox, Time Warner, and Disney. The red columns here are the investment taken care by the new internet companies: Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Apple, Facebook, right? So there is an overall increased number of expenditure in content, which is great, but competition is getting more and more fierce. And this is obviously an area where it's important to understand. Netflix and also Amazon are also able to get more awards from the Oscar and many other festivals, and they are becoming obviously a full media players. So there are, in parallel to what's happening in content and in new OTT players, there are substantial shifts in the media and entertainment landscape. Last year, 50% of adults ranging ages 22 to 45 didn't watch broadcast or cable TV in 2017. In addition, there is a 7-time increase of mobile data traffic between 2016 and 2021. Obviously, the world is going mobile, and it's a very critical component of the strategy. And as part of the overall consumer internet traffic worldwide, 82% is going to be video, and that's a substantial evidence that video and the use of consuming video is very preferable for consumers all around the world. We like to watch video, we prefer to watch video, and it's better for us to watch some piece of content rather than reading a text. It's more convenient, more easy. So for professional broadcast or for advertising, everything is going to the video side, and it's critical for the future. Just to give you a rough idea and to put things into perspective, this is the latest digital TV research data showing that still the majority of the pay TV revenues resides with the traditional players, cable companies and satellites, direct-to-home companies. 2022, about 2/3 of the total worldwide revenues are still going to be with the traditional pay TV players. But obviously Netflix is growing, OTT revenues that are coming from telcos and other ventures are growing. And a new emergent to this ecosystem is OTT ventures that are monetized by advertising. Traditionally, OTT projects were traditionally monetized by subscription, but advertising is catching up, and it is part of the critical monetization path for many telcos and content providers and OTT players in the market. I would like to use this opportunity to launch our first poll for today. Question number 1. Are multiple streaming options good for consumers? Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to reply. Okay, so if we dive in and talk about the challenges of the telcos, content providers, pay TV, OTT players, we usually divide into 3 critical areas: quality of experience, meaning the video performance, click-to-play time, stability of the video, resolution and bit rates that we deliver to consumers, project complexities. We all know that OTT projects are getting more and more complex, while the demand of consumers is increasing continuously. And the third part is the video OTT profitability. Most of the OTT ventures around the world are not profitable, and this has a major burden. Obviously, this is caused to content cost, complexities in operation, but also about the lack of data and understanding of what's really happening, with consumers' behavior. And this is the focus of this webinar. And when we talk about the success of OTT players, of OTT projects, we first talk about customer loyalty, which is, in general, a positive emotional experience of viewers and users and consumers about the specific service, and full satisfaction of perceived value, meaning whatever they pay and whatever they get, still the balance is positive. The actual implementation for OTT projects is increased session time, increased engagement, and shares of content, reduced churn, increased ARPU. These are some of the most tangible KPIs that we can identify while launching a successful OTT project. And when we talk about customer loyalty, the path to customer loyalty is obviously getting great engineering, customer support, but most importantly is the data. The data enable us to know exactly what consumer behavior patterns help us to know exactly what consumer like, and then we can target those users with the right content at the right time on the right device. The whole idea of using consumer data in OTT is to use this data in a very, very efficient way in order to retarget and create a variety of recommendation and related content, and pushing those ideas and suggestions to the consumers themselves. Obviously, there are a lot of parameters and data that is used by the engineering part of the organization, but data can be used by the marketing and business side, and can leverage and can increase customer loyalty and success of the entire OTT project itself. The life cycle of the data workflow is first by collecting the data. Usually, traditionally, it was server-side collection of data, but today, with the use of an SDK on the client side, we can collect data from consumers. We can then take this data and implement that and manage that in a very, very small database, which is available usually at the backend side of the architecture. For that part of the collection, which is collecting the data, analyze it and process it into a small database, and visualize it by a variety of dashboards. For this part, we call performance analytics. But this is where we're just starting. At step number three, we can then take user behavioral data that is available in our database, and we can then define audiences in the market. The audiences are a group of people that share some specific type of common consumption pattern. Maybe it's in a certain geography, time of the day, genres, new users versus existing users, churn, people who didn't use the app for 1 month or whatever. We can define unlimited number of audiences. And once we have that characteristics of audiences, the system should take the data of those consumers and segment them according to the specific genre or category that we have defined. On item number 4, we can then start designing and launching campaigns. And this is very, very related to the marketing and upselling of content and increase customer satisfaction, because the launching of campaigns, while the bottom line implication of the campaign is a push notification or an SMS or some kind of an engagement with the end users, these engagement tools are very, very targeted to the right audiences that we have just defined. So no longer sending the same push notification to the entire install base, but through audience segmentation, we can build marketing campaigns targeting to specific audiences in the market, and also selecting the appropriate content, which can be video, audio, editorial content, games, whatever of media assets that we have, and then we can retarget them at the right place at the right time to the right audience, while we can increase satisfaction, increase click rate, and obviously overall increase user experience of the entire OTT service. We can then define some KPIs in the system, measure the effectiveness of the campaign, and retarget again and again in order to improve satisfaction. Now, this is not mass targeting or trying to bombard users with a variety of push notification. The system and the Vimmi platform is a way to very, very efficiently, through smart recommendation engine and AI, to define those audiences in a very, very smart way, and through machine learning, retarget those, selecting the right content, do the right targeting in the right frequency, in the right time, in order to increase engagement, in order to increase user experience, increase session time in the application, on the website, on the set-top box, and having the ability for the user to share content and recommend that to their friends. So this is the life cycle of driving consumer lifetime value. It involves a lot of engineering, a lot of technologies, and a variety of techniques. For that other part, from 3 till 6, we call marketing, analytics, and engagement, because usually these modules are being used by the marketing or the business side of the organization. Usually all the performance analytics, which is a variety of engineering parameters like total network throughput or traffic, latencies, location, these are mostly being used by the engineering departments and with variety of dashboards. But all the marketing campaigns, the audience segmentation, recommendation engine is mostly dashboards and platform that is being used by the business side of the organization through the platform itself. So the idea is to get through the SDK, get through the client, every type of behavioral movement within the application, every type of click rates, every type of events that are happening on the app, on the client side, collecting this data to a big data warehouse, which should be a very, very smart warehouse. And then through the proper analysis of this data, engaging the users and sending them back through smart recommendation ideas for watching more content within the app itself. We are providing an SDK that can be available and installed on any type of application or website, any type of application, or a set-top box. And we collect a variety of events from the client itself. We collect app navigation. I mean, any clicked on the app, whether it's a navigation click or a plain click or stop or rewind or fast forward, we know and we collect every item of these type of movements. So we know which show people eventually watched and how they reached to this show and how many clicks they did to reach to that specific show, what device they're using, from which geolocation, and what time. We also collect media events, which is primarily related to favorites. So if we have a favorited section in the app, it is very, very important for the collection of data. Obviously, all the consumption events, in terms of time of actually the duration of watching the video, from which device and which location. And the fourth part is a variety of tags, preferences, and categories that users are defining in the system. And we are collecting this data as well. We are collecting all this data together with the many other sorts of data that I will highlight in the next section that describes the entire data flow. So the first step is the data gathering. So we talked about how do we gather data from the clients through an SDK, but this is not enough. We need also to collect the metadata that comes from the content providers themselves. So a variety of ETLs or metadata that then comes through ETL or XML, all the EPG information. We also take the CRM and the subscription information that is available in the CRM system and in the billing platforms. And we also take the advertising data if this data is available or the product is monetized by advertising. So it is very, very important to gather not just user behavioral data and clients, but it's also very, very important to gather all the backend data, which relates to the metadata, EPG information, CRM, subscription, advertising data, and start to do correlations of these client information and backend information and get really, really important insights of the data, of the structure of the project. The next step of the flow is about data management and warehousing. So all this information is obviously gathered around the big data database. The database is usually available within the backend or main data center of the project. It can be hosted on the cloud, or in some of the scenario, we can host that entire platform on premise if we do a project with a data center or with a telco. We are using a very, very granular and advanced database. It can be a public database like Amazon, or we are using some vertical database and some other tools to make the database very, very efficient. And when I mean efficient, it's need to work on real time, have maximum 3 seconds of delay. And the idea is to insert new information to the platform and pull that information from the platform in a variety of queries that are important for launching campaigns and improving the performance of the project, whether from engineering perspective or from content structuring perspective as well. The next step in the process is about obviously knowledge and insights. What we're trying to do here is after we analyze the data, we have created few hundreds of dashboards. These dashboards can be used by a variety of personas within the organization. And the idea is visualization, right? Through descriptive and perspective insights, where I can provide a lot of data, which is visualized by graphs. These dashboards and these visualization web pages can be fully customized, and they can be tailor-made for the specific personas. And the idea is to get together information, to visualize that information, both from engineering and marketing perspectives, and actually starting to define the audience segment, which is the first foundation for the recommendation, the personalized targeting within the Vimmi platform. The last step is actually taking action, right? After we gather the data, we did some evaluation of the data, we process the data, get some insights, visualize it. Now it's the time to retarget. And the idea is a smart retargeting through push notification, SMS, or newsletters. Again, we can have unlimited number of segments in our audience, and we can customize and personalize every campaign within the platform. The platform using very, very advanced recommendation engines that is able to recommend automatically content to those specific audiences and the specific segments within our viewers. Those obviously will trigger some actions. People might click on those push notifications, and through a variety of KPIs, we can measure, test, and always improve how we are running the project, how we are improving strategic KPIs, both from engineering and marketing perspectives. By the way, if you have any question, you can add it to the Q&A box, right? And I will be happy to answer. Okay, let's wait. Okay, we have a question from Tommy about Akamai Analytics platform during the World Cup causing performance issues, right? So I hope I understand what you're referring to. Again, we talk about only data flow, which is very, very low in volume, that is coming from the client side back to the backend. This doesn't have any influence on the video performance or anything. It is a two parallel path. One path is the video CDN path, which is responsible for effectively stream the video to the end users. The other path is collecting through an SDK the client data. We are collecting more than 1 billion events every day from around more than 100 million users on a daily basis worldwide. It doesn't have any influence on the video performance itself. Once we are collecting, these are very, very small pieces of data, like few bytes of content that we aggregate on every movement to the SDK that goes to the database. It's a different path, and when we send a push notification, it's again different path. Doesn't relate completely to the video streaming itself. So thank you, Tommy, for the question. I hope I answer. If not, we can continue this after the webinar. Okay, so audience segmentation is a critical component of the entire this entire workflow. What we're trying to do with the audience segmentation is try to define audiences based on behavioral patterns of consumption or some other attributes. Attributes can be consumer account, for example, which plan they are in, the basic, trial, premium, when they start, expiration date. It can be consumer state, if they are new users, if they're about to expire. So if a registration or a plan is terminated 30 days from now, we might want to target only this specific segment with some interesting upselling opportunity. People who didn't use the platform for 30 days or 60 days. Attributes can be, or segments can be divided to consumption patterns, like what content they watched, right? Based on genre, like if people like sports or drama, or how much they are watching. Content metadata, like if they like a certain actor, a certain movie, length of the movie, how much time they are consuming the content. Customer info, like geolocation, like geography or demographics, language preferences, or variety of app usage information, like content discovery or likes, shares, areas where the customer are navigating. Every one of those attributes can be divided as a segment. Can be divided as a segment or as within our entire install base. And then once we define those segments, the system enables our customers to create marketing campaigns through smart recommendation and push notifications. So the campaigns enable us to use all these attributes, which we use to divide or to segment the audiences, and then creating marketing campaigns. There are a variety of dashboards, right, that are available. It's a full marketing automation system where we define the audience to target. We are selecting communication channels, and communication channels can be push notification, SMS, email, or a variety of in-app messages during consumption or during offline. We can select the messaging type, right? So a message can be a text, image, audio, video, a deep link to a third-party component. These are all supported by the platform. We can then define frequency and timing of launching, or we can create some trigger events and finalizing the decision tree. If click rates were not enough, we can then go back and reiterate with some improvement. And this is something that the platform is doing automatically through some deep learning techniques. So we choose the communication channels, we customize the message, and we define decision tree and what messaging type are relevant here, while the idea is recommend not only other content or content that the system thinks or the recommendation algorithm thinks that are relevant, but we can also recommend some other type of media like text or articles. Some of our customers are they have a strong content partner strategy, and they onboard to the platform not only video and audio, but also games and variety of other e-commerce suggestion. So all of them are fully supported on a variety of methods within those platforms. They can be fully customized and tailor-made on that platform itself. Now, obviously, the main theme here is helping customers or OTT players understand what users are, how users are behaving, and through that deep understanding, which is what we call behavioral analytics, we can then approach and engage in a very, very smart way, frequency and time, in a very smart recommendation system that enables the user to enjoy what we actually recommend him. It's a personalized message, personalized engagement that we target within this platform. In terms of the users of the platform, if we work with the telco, with the content provider, obviously within this organization, there are many customers, or what we call personas, that are divided by the functions, okay? And those dashboards and approval and authorization within the platform are completely independent, right? So if we have the programmer or the content manager or the marketing manager or the CEO, CFO, or the CTO or the call center manager, we have dashboards tailored for each one of those audiences, and they can fully have access to these predefined dashboards, but they can fully customize them as well. And we make those dashboards very, very relevant and tailor directly to the persona that is consuming that. So the information can be visualized through the variety of dashboards, graphs, statistics, data, tables, but can also be exported in a variety of ways. If customers have their own BI tools or their own manager of managers, and they would like us to export this data to the users, obviously this is our customer data, and we collect that on his behalf, and he has a full access to this data. And also all the login credential and the access authorization are fully supported by the platform and are available to customize on a project-by-project basis. Okay, so just as a recap of the Vimmi entire platform, Vimmi provides today a full range of video OTT services, starting from the content preparation, content monetization, CDN, video application, and obviously the analytics and recommendation. We are a 100% software company. We can provide our services from the Vimmi cloud or can deploy on-premise with telcos. We take end-to-end responsibilities as a managed service for the entire ecosystem. We are highly target a telco OTT focus, meaning that the platform are very, very scalable, can support 10 and hundreds of millions of daily users in a global scale. So any new feature or any new service that are related to the OTT platform, today we can provide as an entire one-stop shop, but also as a microservice, because we are structured as a microservice, as every one of those items here are can be taken out from the entire architecture and can be provided as a service. It can be a low latency CDN or an ad insertion implementation or a backend or an application. We can provide this as a microservice approach or as a full OTT platform itself. So this was it. Thank you very much for your time. I'm here a few more minutes if you have more questions. Alternatively, you can approach me directly. Here is my email, Eitan, EITAN @vimmi.net. Please continue following us. We're sharing a lot of information also on LinkedIn and Twitter. Okay, I'm still here online for the next few minutes. If you have any question, please, this is the right time to ask on the Q&A box. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. This is it for today. See you in our next webinars. Thank you and bye-bye.